Could we start out by how did you get involved in this project with working with Oliver on Sirāt?
Mhm. Um, I worked in several films with one of the producers, the one that it's from Barcelona, with Uriel Maimó. And he called me that I have a film that I want you to read the script. And I met Oliver in Barcelona with David, the composer, the three of us. And we talked a lot about the concept of the movie that Oliver has in his mind. And we start working on the sound design.
And so could you kind of walk me through a little bit of what pre-production was like on that?
I start being involved in Sirāt when they were shooting. Uh, we with Amanda, we talk a lot about what kind of recordings that she could do on on the shooting, not only just to have the dialogue properly, um, but also to have the sound of the engines of the trucks, the ambiances of the desert, some atmospheres of the sandstorms, and also what kind of microphones she could use. She used an ambisonic microphone and also an stereo pair, just to have the ability in the sound design to in place all the audio through the Atmos mix. Uh, she recorded a lot of groups and wallas that, like in the gas station, that there's a crowd asking for some gas. We had that production sound, and after that, in the sound design process, we record a lot of singular sentences just to emphasize and highlight all that kind of ambiances.
What did you, how did you think, what were challenges that you had in shooting in like the sound design of this film versus what you worked on in past projects?
I think that the most challenging thing of Sirāt was that Oliver wants to make a movie with a realism base, that the sound was realism, and to convey and explain how the ravers live. But also we need to be a lot of expressive, just to convey all the emotions and invite the audience to an emotional journey. So I think that the most difficult and challenge was to balance between the realism and also the expressive sound. And we studied we studied a lot how the sound system sound, how do you feel in a dance floor, uh, how we could make the track sound in a way that there are realism, but also expressive. And we recorded a lot of tracks, just making that the acting of the driver was more aggressive, just to have that kind of roar of the engines, and always having like an organic sound, and not process so much the sound. It's more an editing process and find the perfect sound with realism and also expressionism.
I felt like watching this film that I mean, right from the beginning, the music and the sound is like a central character. Was that like just was that obvious? Was that something Oliver said right from the beginning, or is that something you guys kind of explored as you began to move into production?
It's something that it was from the beginning because Oliver wanted to convey the the way that ravers live, and they are very connected to the music and also the sound. So we work a lot with David. Um, that I sent to him the sound design. He sent to me the music, and this kind of workflow helps a lot to make the sound effects of the movie sound like the music, and also the music sounds like the sound effects, just to have that, that that character in the movie.
Did you, as you started to move towards more of the sound of the soundscape of the natural soundscape, did you find there was a place where you said, okay, this is going to be where it's a little bit of music and then a little bit of sound? And if that is the case, what sounds did you kind of choose to to go with?
I think that Sirat doesn't have scenes with a lot of scoring music. It's more like when the music starts, the sound design starts to dissolve, and the music has the main character in that scene, and vice versa. I think that when we have a scene with the sound design, it's only the sound design in the soundscape, like the scene that they arrive in the middle of the desert and Luis go off um, by his own to the desert. Um, we had lots of types of wind, with gusty wind, more sharp wind, also some tickles of metal of the vehicles that they are, and just to construct so much texture of the atmosphere. And that kind of workflow that I was saying with David, I sent this scene, and he also put that types of texture of the sun uh, in his music, in his composer, in his tracks. That's why I think that it's so mesmerized. I don't know if I can say mesmerized. The sound, the music, and the image, because we were very concerned to have the same texture, just to feel the desert and the hot weather and the sharp of the sand.
So I'm curious, as a sound designer, when you were shooting it, you didn't know you were going to go to Cannes. You didn't know that you were going to be screening at the Grand Lumiere with, you know, this amazing sound system. But did you have that in mind? Where you're like, okay, you know, this is, I mean, because I just want to know what your point of view is, because I think I think you can't really pick a better film for a sound designer to have at a better theater And could you maybe talk about that and working with like the Dolby Atmos and
We were very concerned, and we did a lot of uh, job with trial and error because we wanted to explode to the maximum the capacity of the immersion of the Dolby Atmos. Uh, we knew that Sirat was a film that meant to be felt, not only heard. So we need that kind of immersion. That's why we decided to make the sound with Dolby Atmos. Um, and we were like with the rave scenes, for example, we needed to recreate because they were shot with a deal with the ravers that the music won't stop the 3 days of the shooting. So we need to recreate all the sound of the scenes, and we make some tests in the studio, recording all the music with ambisonics and LCR microphones, just to study how we can translate the sound to the Dolby Atmos. And and after that we record the music through a sound system just to have that kind of massive wall of sound. And and with the ambisonic we were able to open more or close the sound and have the real reflections of the sound in the space. And to explore more the capacity of the immersion of the Dolby Atmos, we recorded a lot of European actors in different language, in Italian, just to have a lot of individual pieces that we treated with objects inside the Dolby Atmos, just to have when the camera goes in the dance floor, they pass by through your ears, and you have that feeling that you're moving with the character through the dance floor. And just all that work, it's in every single scene of the movie, just to have that kind of immersion. We test the sound mix in a theater here in Barcelona that's Phenomena. It sounds so good, so we could make some updates or some changes just to have the perfect mix, the perfect sound mix.
and then how was the feeling when you first heard it in the Grand Lumiere? Could you tell me about that experience? And
Um, it was amazing. It was like a dream come true. See a movie that we work on that theater because the sound system was amazing. The projection was amazing, and we were happy, and we celebrate a lot the sound mix and the movie. It went so well. It's kind of
and
amazing.
yeah, it was an awesome experience. And do you have any advice for sound designers or independent filmmakers, as far as, you know, achieving good sound? And maybe, yeah, I'll let you kind of what your advice would be on that.
It's it's diff I don't know how to say. It's a good question because I think that it's trial and error and try some things. With Sirāt we take some risk and work with non-standard ways maybe because we felt that the movie needed uh, like some recordings of the wind or from the engines of the tracks. The microphone was not protected just to have the texture of the wind in the microphone. And maybe that's not a standard way to work, but in Sirāt work because it matches with the texture of the image and the rambling and and the rattles that the image have. So I think that it's more trial and error and see how it works. With
And go
with
ahead, go ahead.
yeah.
How important do you think quality gear is? I mean, do you think that what would do you think it's something where if you should invest in quality gear, or do you think it's more of kind of exploring, or do you think it's hopeless if you don't have good quality gear? Are you kind of like, well, you're kind of wasting your time, or where do you sit on that?
Can you be more specific? Sorry.
Well, like I just hear like, from my experience, people emphasize, oh, it's got to be get the best quality mics, get the best
Uh-huh.
quality, or your preamps or whatever it is, and
Okay.
somebody who's, you as a sound designer, you have a lot of experience in this. I'm wondering if you feel that's true, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think that it's a mixture because you can have the best microphone in the market, but you have to be creative with the recording. Um, I think that you can have an amazing sound recorded with a PCM, a portable recorder, because maybe it's the sound that you found in that moment, or obviously you need a good quality of microphones, but I think to achieve a good sound, you have to be more open-minded and and try some 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 new ways to record that what you need, and also try a lot of different microphones. In Sirāt we work with the long microphone just to have the the low vibrations of the doors. Um, and it's more a microphone that it's used in music, but it helps to us to have that bass in the effects. I think that it's more to explore different microphones and kind of or different ways to record the effects that you need.
And were there similarities or differences between working with Oliver versus working with Pedro on his films?
Well, there are two monsters of the direction. Uh, I think that Pedro was so enriching to work with him because he has a long career uh, as a director, and he knows what he wants. You have to study when you work with a director with that long career. You study all his filmography and try to adapt your work to his filmography, but also be able to make something new or something more like the way you work. And Oliver, it was his fourth film, and the previous films of Oliver were more documentary way. So we work more to make something more new in his filmography. So one sound design more expressive than he made before, and it's kind of different. It's enriching in a different way, working with different directors or a novel director, a new director.
And what advice would you give to filmmakers when working with a sound designer or hiring one, like from your experience, what are some red flags or some like, okay, this is good how this person laid this out?
I think that it's important to meet the person and know that both are doing the same film. Both of them are talking the same language and find the way to work with the same concept in mind. Maybe it's talk about cinema, about the reference and inspiring movies that they have in mind, and I think it's that just to have they have the same film in her head.